What's up, everyone? How's it going? Welcome to today's market analysis or trade recap episode. As you know, today we did not do our pre-market analysis because today was CPI day, so we simply took time off the charts and enjoyed our day without hopping on the charts. So I'm just gonna be analyzing today's market live here with you guys and seeing any patterns that we may have been able to pick up. Essentially gonna be a backtesting session of CPI day. And I want to see how we react to different levels. And as you can see, I did not change anything on my charts. My shorts from yesterday are still there. We'll go ahead and do that. And according to Financial Factory, CPI basically came out as expected, which dollar and bond yields weakened and ES strengthened, as you can see here. But yeah, already from a higher time frame perspective, what I'm seeing is that we took all-time highs again. We made new all-time highs now. Up at this level. After we made new all-time highs, we made a big dump down back to this 4-hour area, which has proven to be it's holding. This is the third touch that we've seen on it, and it does seem to be holding pretty nicely. We're seeing a reaction off of it as well. You fill that gap, you can remove that. I'm not trying to chart the entire session again because I don't want to use all that time to do so. We can simply use the things which are already on our charts from yesterday and previous day sessions. So I'm just going to remove everything that's unnecessary and we'll go in and chart and analyze everything that we have missed. Remember, we had this 2-hour, got swept, got the upper all-time high, that also got swept. So just want to mark everything before market open on this area. So we have liquidity up there, which as you can see, it does happen to turn out to be a nice level. And I don't know why I went on the 30-minute, but yeah, we had liquidity up there, liquidity down there as well, of course. Let's go on the 4-hour and do from there, but liquidity shall be there. This wick shows that there's liquidity there. Liquidity here, 4-hour zone here. Gonna keep that level. Let's go on to 3-hour. We have a 3-hour demand zone here. Uh, 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 uh. 3-hour there. Main liquidity down here. Yep, there's that 2-hour liquidity. We have liquidity here as well. There. I don't know, I'm not sure about the other level, but there's liquidity there. Alright, let's see. We saw a sweep of this level. We never closed above it on a higher time frame. And here's that 1-hour goofiness. On the 1-hour, it does look like we swept this level and moved up. So then this would be that liquidity area as compared to this one, which we did previously have marked out as well. I'm actually gonna make this 4-hour into a 1-hour simply because no need for all that extra area when we already have specificity down here. And yeah, that's all for the 1-hour. Those are all the levels, right? Now volume profile as well. Let's go ahead and see where the volume is at during this initial up move. And if you take a look, majority of our volume in this up move that occurred, and realistically, I should not even include, hold on. Let me just adjust that so it does not include 830 candle. 825 candle it can include. There we go. Now let's go back on the 30-minute and see. So as you see, this entire area is a low volume node. It's hard to actually tell the type of volume that is there. But here, there's a lot of volume, and that aligns directly with this liquidity and this 4-hour zone. So I want to see a reaction from this 4-hour level, and a 4-hour level has seemed to hold in the past as well. And we do have decent volume below that. Now I'm going to continue to expand it back to those highs, and as you see, this entire area tends to be that area where price wants to revolve around, as it is a large amount of volume. Now we are seeing a decent bit of volume coming from here, which does correlate with the all-time highs. So we might stay. We just have to see a reaction from either level. If you see a reaction here, see if you break up or break down. That's how we have to play. But yeah, let's keep moving back to here. Now it's clear that majority of the volume is here, and that 4-hour and liquidity there is essential for today's understanding. We do have this area aligning with that liquidity, and then that would have been the previous liquidity. This is why, honestly, all-time highs is not the easiest to trade off of. Volume, 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 volume. This aligns essentially with that. This aligns essentially with that. And then these two areas are neither at liquidity. So all our levels are really valid. Nothing is getting invalidated. Now, our job is to just analyze and see how price reacts at the different levels that we have marked out. If price on the footprint and bookmap charts, they show that they want to go higher, we can take longs. But if it's the other case, we should take shorts. So I do want to see what we could have saw. And yeah, I do want to mark out news liquidity as well. So this 7:30 candle is news liquidity, and that 7:30 CPI data pushed up price higher to create another all-time high. So all-time high is going to have really important liquidity. Let's go on the 5-minute now. But yeah, those are simply going to be the levels. And honestly, I'm not even going to look at NQ yet on such a short time frame perspective, because we've broken way higher on NQ, and I don't see any point in really analyzing NQ when we have ES right in front of us with all of ES order flow data. But I just wanted to keep NQ there just so we see the higher time frame perspective. And as we see, we did sweep the all-time highs on NQ, but now we came back towards this level, which pushed us up, and we actually went a bit below it. But now here we're starting to see some reaction. So I definitely want to see how price plays out here, if we break down from that area or if we continue to go up. And with tomorrow's PPI, we might be able to see that. But let's get into the consequent market analysis of today. So let's go to that 9:30 EST time. Let's zoom in on book footprint as well. 8:30 here. So right at market open, we're revolving around this liquidity. All-time highs, I would assume, would be there. So that's where there's a lot of liquidity there. And we don't see price come there. We simply see seller aggression occur right off the rip, and on top of that, we see, okay, on top of that, we see passive sellers are moving down the price, indicating urgency within that selling pressure. I don't want to move too far because perhaps there might have been a setup before, but I'm just looking at how Bookmap looks. I'm not too confident in that at all. Looking at, but yeah, nothing really to take there. And now we're already up to 8:50 Central Time. It should be here. And here we're just seeing aggressive selling occur, but at the top, we do happen to see buyer absorption. You can see that right here as he went up in the 850 candle or 845 candle. Right here, both of these candles, we saw buyers coming in. We'll see that once again. We see buyer absorption there is what I'm trying to explain. I'm just trying to find out where that buyer absorption occurred. A meaningful one at least. Okay. We saw buyer absorption occur within this time frame over here. And right after that candle closed, what we actually saw was passive selling start getting introduced here at this level. Now, when I look on the higher time frame perspective of things, I do see that 6310 is a very key bookmap level. So let's go ahead and mark that out. 6310. That's bookmap liquidity down there. And what time is it at that point? 9:57 to 8:57. So within this candle right here, we see that passive selling occur. And that's around 6326-ish. So right around here. And yeah, I really think that we might be able to see a good setup. We swept through that liquidity pretty easily. We're not seeing any buyer absorption, just a quick buy up of buyer from sellers. No true reaction from that with aggressiveness. And there's too much distribution and liquidity for us to take any trade off that liquidity there. But now we have bookmap liquidity here that I think we might be able to find a setup off of that 915. We'll see. You start pushing down here. And we come down to this area right around at 9 a.m. candle. And I'm not seeing much volume down there. 6315 area, nothing, no absorption signals there at least. Okay, as you can see, the spread of liquidity on Bookmap is not the greatest. Liquidity has now moved up to 6311, I would assume. So right there. And we have 100 orders here and it's essentially 100 orders there. So that's like going to be market making, providing this sense of market efficiency. But we have those 99 sellers there and 99 sellers there as well. 105 sellers there. Just waiting to see where price reacts. Because at this point, where was that? 6317? At, yeah, honestly, this is nothing I'm seeing here. No absorption there for us to enter. And now we come up. Buyers are showing aggression with the movement of passive buyers upwards. The spread of bookmap liquidity is not the best on CPI day, and that's pretty clear to visualize. There's more liquidity, but we want that right balance of liquidity. But here we're seeing 126 passive sellers, and we potentially see buyer absorption there. Hard to completely tell, but we do get into that level a little bit. And it's at 6325. 6325. And we do wick it. So I want to see what happens. And we have 6327 as well. And we have passive buying here at that area. Between two liquidity levels. We push up just like such. Passive buying is showing urgency. Now we have 144 passive sellers at 6327 relative area. And now we're starting to see aggressive selling start to occur. Yeah, no setup from there as well, unfortunately. I am starting to see another barrier pop up here at 6325, so potentially if we retrace into that area and see absorption once again, potential for entry, and we might be seeing that happen here in that 920 candle. So I think maybe an entry could have been made there, but we uh yeah, I mean I'm not really seeing any absorption per se that I would have liked to take a trade off of. And now we have a very aggressive passive buying here, which does happen to, ooh, we take that level at 6321 at this candle. Volume distributed throughout. Yeah, honestly, man, this distribution of bookmap liquidity is very choppy. I'm not seeing any real trades. Now we're starting to push down very aggressively, so I would like to see some retracement plays, but if that's not possible, that's not possible, right? Passive buying once again. Either head to 6325 or 6310. Start heading down, passive buying there. Push through that pretty easily. Now we start coming up. 933 right here. I mean, we are seeing volume there, but I don't know if it's as significant as we may think. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's as significant. Now those sellers come in again. Now they're testing this lower area. This might be an area where we're starting to see a bit of seller absorption. Uh, Potential reversal. 630 candle. There's no absorption there at all. Little bit maybe, but there's very aggressive buying. It's just pushing back up here. We saw aggressive selling delta, like maybe got trapped. Let me think. Where would we be? Oh, I did not. 441. Let's go back to that time. I did not mean to refresh there. Right at 940. So now we're at this point where we have taken that liquidity there at 940. And we're starting to wick it. I would not know where to target next in terms of any place there. It's a very difficult area to play in the all-time high region. And it's not a bad idea to be flat. I'm just trying to put myself in the position if I was actually trading, would I have taken a trade and situations behind it. And what I'm going through is trying to figure out if I would have taken a sell or a buy here as a reversal method. But we haven't really got into that level. Now we are getting into that level at that 940 candle right here. And we're starting to see decent size buying come in. Yeah, there we sweep that level. I mean, we do have this barrier here, so that wouldn't make much sense to risk reward. Say we enter off of a reaction. off of aggressive buying. Not right there. Say we entered 6312, right? 6312, 6312, 6312, 6312, 6312. Stop loss likely 1, 2. The low, and then you would target 6316. It's not good risk to reward in my opinion. As you can see, we're essentially just targeting the highs. Ooh, wait, maybe this does happen to work out. 6316-ish area. Right down there between these two areas. Okay, so it looks like it would have worked. Would I have taken it confidently? Maybe, maybe not. But let me explain why this may have worked out here today. We come down into a significant bookmap level. We tested it once, did not get into it. Tested again, did not get into it. Now we're not pushing up with lots of buyers at all anymore. Now we come back into it again. Very aggressive selling. And passive buying, even after sweeping this level, is starting to get trying to push price up higher again by reinstating more passive buy orders. And after we saw that absorption here on the footprint chart, and when we started seeing this reaction with decent sized aggressive buying, with a target here at 6317.5 or 6316, that entire region where we're starting to see is passive liquidity, I would say right there. So safe estimate would be 6316, maybe a bit below. Maybe 14 ticks, 6315.5. Nah, it would be 6316. Right? 6316, right? Then you set yourself up for a 1.2 risk to reward trade with that absorption. And if we take a look, we do see that buying pressure occur up until 6316 exactly. Because let's take a look here. There's two levels. 6316 was that second level. So yeah, this would be a 1 to 1.2 risk to reward. And honestly, I don't know if I would have taken a trade. If I would have taken a trade, it might have been this one. But the overall spread of liquidity is not looking great in any terms. See, now we're just choppy once again within that distribution of liquidity. We come up towards that level and we see aggressive selling occur once again. Now we have level at 6,300. The good old, very key level that price has been navigating through the entire time. And honestly, look at what happened here today as well. Whew. This 6300 level is absolutely insane. Just take a look at how we react at that area. Sellers get shut down, buyers push up, buyers push up, buyers push up. Now we come through, now there's nothing that happens there, but here, buyers push up, here sellers use it. 6300 has been a key level and it's been showing itself to be very effective area to play off of. And yesterday also we used that 6300 as yesterday we used it as resistance. But we used that selling and now we're approaching that 6300 level again. I would love to take shorts if possible to head there, but we just happen to go there really quickly on as you see, and then we start testing that level here at 957. So right here, right? Yeah, right here. Even if we do make a reaction off of absorption here, likely not one worth trading because, oh wow, take a look at how much liquidity is actually there. 831 passive buying orders. Look at how the entire order book got skewed because of this one level at 6300 level. This is institutional movement right here, not retail. and we see that standing at that point at that 6300 level, and we see that absorption occur, where can you even target at this point, right? You have two levels, 6307.5 and potentially this level. But honestly, it's hard to tell where we will go because of the significance of this level. Here today, we saw that hold and we pushed up all the way until 6315, which is up here. But it's not really easy to tell where we will head up. So I don't know if I would have taken something of that nature simply because there's no target. But say we entered at 6304. Uh, 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 uh. 18 tick stop, or can you even target? 6310 maybe. 63. What is it? 6307.5. Yeah. Risk reward is not great on this trade. Likely would not have taken it. 6310 might not have been a bad shot too. Looking as how there's liquidity there, but overall, nothing significant. And if we would have taken a reversal play like we did yesterday, we would have simply entered until we saw invalidation. Let's take a look at when we see invalidation occur, and or we might not have entered at all. And I like what I'm seeing here. So let's just see what would have happened if we did not enter in the trade. We entered maybe 6310 profit, but let's see what happened. I'm thinking a barrier play might have potentially shown itself at 1010-ish area, 1015-ish area. Let's skip through all this monkey business. That would likely be a liquidity flip too. Maybe we're seeing buyer absorption here, which is pushing those selling aggressively down. Now we're back down to this level, 6305. Down here with aggressive selling. Oh, we pushed down below it. Very aggressive selling. And now this 6300 level got 300 contracts as before, 800 over there. Maybe absorption occurring here. It's hard to tell simply because there's no limit orders at that point, but sellers are having trouble breaking below. We're starting to see a flush of aggressive buying start to come in. And yeah, we're having a big battle there. Then we come back up to that 6300 area and we break through it. And now we have this level between 6317 and 6318, so maybe 63, exactly 6318. We don't head up to that level. Let's see where we even head up to. Now you start seeing passive selling. And now it's 1030. So yeah, honestly, if you would have taken a trade, it would have been this long play, which would have outspanned the time of around 3 to 5 minutes. And that would have been a 1 to 2 risk to reward, or even 1 to 1.2 risk to reward, which is not great at all. And does not follow the trend, which is not what we want to follow. Honestly, it was a good thing that we skipped CPI day today. And although some traders may be able to utilize the extended volatility that occurs from CPI data and other news events, our strategy, which utilizes a lot of order flow mechanisms, doesn't really succeed as much simply because we don't have that typical market conditions that we're used to, in which we can create probable and systematic trades that have worked for us. So yeah, that's gonna be all I have here for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or join the completely free Discord server. The link is in the description down below. Feel free to ask any comments there or whatever you want. I truly believe you can get a thing or two out of it. On top of that, if you want to get started and use Orderflow for completely free with a small delay, check out Addis Charts. It's in the link in the description down below, and it's one of the best footprint tools that I've used, and it has a lot of functionisms and much more. Additionally, check out Think with Bookmap. That's also linked in the description down below. Other than that, that's all I have here for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the pre-market live session. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.